One of the biggest missed opportunities that I consult with companies on all the time, and it drives me nuts, is you just got an order from someone. You just ordered something online, $1,000 product, whatever. What do you get? An auto-generated generic receipt. You are missing a massive real estate opportunity right there to change the status quo, to shock, to awe, to personalize, to customize, to deliver something of value other than here's this receipt that I'm either going to file in my receipts folder if you're super organized, or delete, or just leave in your unopened inbox for umpteen years till you have 20,000 messages, depending on your email style.
Hey there, and welcome back to the Bombshell Business Podcast. I am your host, Amber Hurdle. And as you know, if you're a regular listener, I'm just having a party right now on my podcast with all of my friends. And we are just barreling into this new season with people that I absolutely know, that I trust, that I have real talk with, that I'm going to present to you so you can learn from them with my full stamp of approval and my great amount of respect. So today, we're going to understand the importance of personalization, customization, and agency or choice in communication, and talk about how communication in synthetic media is becoming the new frontier of business communication. So whether you're a small business owner or you work for a large organization or even a small organization, this is a trend, and it's a trend that's going to become the norm. So I want you to really pay attention to my friend, my real talk friend, who is somebody that I know I can say anything to, and it's a safe place, Jill Schiefelbein. She's an award-winning entrepreneur, author, and recovering academic with a passion for integrating communication, education, and technology for business. She taught business communication at Arizona State University for 11 years before venturing into entrepreneurship. Jill's business, The Dynamic Communicator, helps organizations navigate the physical and digital communication spaces to attract customers, increase sales, and retain clients. Her latest book, Dynamic Communication, 27 Strategies to Grow, Lead, and Manage Your Business, hit stores March 2017. She's also the Chief Experience Officer at a new tech startup, Render Media, a leader in the synthetic media space, which is so freaking cool. Jill, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's going to be fun to chat.
I know. We should both have a bourbon on the rocks with us right now. Why did we not figure this out?
Because we both have too much shit going on for the
That's
rest
right.
of the day. Sorry, can I say that on this
Yes.
podcast? I hope so.
Solid point there. Yeah, that's probably, yeah, for sure. So, okay, there's so many different ways that we could go with this, but let's just start by talking about how right now we're never going back. We always, moving forward, will have to focus on personalization, customization, and giving people agency in their form of communication as well. Can you just start there?
Sure. So tying it into the background a little bit that you just read, like yay bios that we all have people write for us. It's really, understanding communication has been a passion of mine for, decades at this point. And in looking at it, I really get curious about what are the small changes that make the biggest difference. Like, how can you augment a single word, a single punctuation mark? We've probably all seen that meme, like, it's time to eat grandma and it's time to eat, grandma.
Right.
Punctuation saves lives. So when we're looking at communication, sometimes finite, nuanced changes is all it takes to really move the needle somewhere. And when it comes to understanding sales, understanding decision-making, understanding relationship building. And while my bio says recovering academic, because I don't teach in academia anymore, I decided to go back and get my doctorate and dive into this even more. And when it comes to any of those relationship building things, especially in the business world, there is scientific proof in multiple situations with multiple experiments that The more personalized communication is, it leads to better brand loyalty, better response rates, faster decisions, all of these things. And I'm not talking about personalization like a creepy used car salesman, like, hi, Amber, what can I help you with today, Amber? Do you like this color, Amber? Like, that's not personalization. That shows
that was personalization in the 80s.
It was like, you can remember a name. Good for you. Gold star, right? But, meaningful personalization. And then customization, right? A personalized email is not, hi, merge with first name. Look forward to seeing you at merge with location, right? That's more personalized than some communication is in business. And that does show benefits. But I'm talking now at exponentially scaled levels. Customization and giving people agency and choice. There's so much research on how, if someone is a consumer of your content, Amber, like this podcast, if you decide that you're going to put this out in video, great. You also decide you're going to put it out as audio only, great. You could even decide to have an AI generated transcript and put it somewhere that people could read it in text, although reading a 30-minute conversation in text, listen to the audio, at least most people probably would. However, the minute someone makes a conscious and tactile decision to choose an avenue because you gave them an option in how they're consuming content, there's a whole rollout of snowballing effects that happen psychologically with that person in their relationship with you or your brand. So why don't we do this is because it takes freaking time, a lot of freaking time, but now it doesn't have to.
Okay. This is where I say, tell us more.
This is what I'm so geeked about. Like, my whole career has been based around professional communication in some capacity.
You're like a bad mamma jamma virtual MC, virtual production, like event, conference. Like, you are a techie communicator. Like, those two things go together for you.
A socially adept nerd, I've been called.
Yes.
But what really does it for me is like, the virtual, the virtual revolution that we all experienced during COVID. Well, I was converting people's in-person trainings to live webinar formats back in 2010, 2011. I ran my first live virtual meeting in 2008. So I had been doing this for a long time, ahead of the game, so to speak. Not that there weren't other people doing it, but really doing this at scale, making business moves out of it. And then when COVID hit, for me, when people were lost, for me, it's, you actually are so stressed about technology. What you need to be stressed about is, how do you communicate effectively with the technology? We can train a monkey to press the right buttons. And that's not trying to be flip or dismiss anyone, but it's true. If anyone who is smart enough to listen to this podcast is smart enough to learn how to start a Zoom meeting, how to record a Zoom meeting, how to deal with audio settings, it's just that we don't take the time to actually take a deep breath and do it. Anyone can deal with basic technology stuff, but communicating effectively via technology is a challenge. So when there came an opportunity to start helping companies and organizations demonstrate that through the production of their virtual events, or then hosting them so people didn't feel so lost, it was a natural business extension.
Yeah. Well, and I observed too, a lot of our peers jumped on that I'm a virtual expert bandwagon, and look at all the, whiz bang tools I use. And then I would sit in on some of that, and I'm like, to me, it just feels like a distraction. Like, I understand some things can be used as a tool, and it's a learning aid, and it's a good thing to augment what you already have. But I felt like right through COVID, like they're like, and we do this and we do that and we add this and we add that. And I'm like, I don't even know what's going on here. So even though there are tools, that doesn't, like, it's like spandex. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? So you're moving into, like, what you're doing right now, I think is a game-changing solution for an issue that we have in the marketplace. And I would love for you to tell us, like, what is synthetic media? And then what is it that render media does?
Amazing. Synthetic media. There's not one agreed upon definition, but basically synthetic media is just like synthetic leather. It looks like leather. It feels like leather, but you didn't kill a cow, right? And it's kind of the same thing. Synthetic media can look like you, it can sound like you, it can stand in for you, but it's not actually you. And a lot of people know these. There's a recent like 60 Minutes thing that came out too on deep fakes. And if you Google like Tom Cruise deep fake, you'll see tons of hits. Carrie Fisher deep fake, you'll see some hits on that. And what I want to say about that technology without getting too nerdy is a deep fake was not necessarily created with the person present taking their things. It was like taking a lot of images, taking a lot of videos that exist out there, and then putting it together into this fake thing. So that's great. Fine. Synthetic media is doing it with intention. You are coming in, you are saying, I need a video clone, I need a vocal clone, I need you to merge these things together so I can produce content at unprecedented scale and be able to do it in a way that I control my image. Now, listen, anything you put online, every picture you put online, me talking on this podcast right now, us having this video on, anything that goes digital is at risk of being faked, always. You have a profile picture on Facebook, I can deep fake that with
yeah.
I mean, I personally can't, but people smarter than me with that stuff can. I know who to call.
Right?
That's what matters. I know who to call. So synthetic media and the way that we're doing it is really synthesizing your actual likeness, your actual data, and producing it in what we call a video avatar, which looks like you, sounds like you, and can stand in for you with your authentication and approval.
And it is crazy real looking. And obviously I guess I won't get into the process of it because I want you to explain it, but it's crazy real looking and it's crazy real sounding. And to me, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I don't have to sit here and record 50 different videos for a training program. I can just, what do I do? What do I do?
With our application, you can type in the script, copy and paste into an application, and it will generate it.
Stop it. Stop it. Okay. So I am an introverted, shy business owner who wants to create a YouTube channel. Maybe I'm a real estate agent. Maybe I'm a boutique owner. Maybe I am, I don't know, a CEO of tons of people in the vacation rental industry. And I know that I need to create content, but first of all, I don't have time. I don't want to put my makeup and do my hair every single day.
Nope.
Yeah. And so take me through the process of, okay, I decide I want to do this. I want to work with Render Media. What is it that I do to make this happen?
So what we do, it takes about 90 minutes in total, maybe 2 hours in some rare cases, to capture what we need to then do the magic behind the scenes with our partners and our proprietary mix to generate your custom avatar. And so you are reading teleprompter scripts to capture different aspects of your physical likeness, the way your face moves a little bit, some slight body movement. I mean, we're not full on gestures yet, because with artificial intelligence, if I did this once and we generated it from that clip, then every like 5 seconds you would see me doing this. And it would be really,
which you're
really
going to have to hold my arms down because I am Sicilian. So you're going to have to be like, Amber.
No, once you do a couple read-throughs, it's amazingly interesting how people adapt. People who are used to being on stage, speaking with all types of enthusiasm, it's a fairly simple process and painless. The second half then is focusing on capturing your vocal clone. And so we have people prepare, 10 to 15 minutes of conversation topics, something that they would share in a speech, maybe, questions that clients commonly ask and you just want to share about that. And then we're checking for emotional drivers so that your vocal qualities are hitting certain tones that we can use so your avatar has more of a range. This is being improved every day. Like the technologies and the advancements from my first avatar that I did in October of 2021 just to April 2022's avatar, night and day difference.
So incredible. I mean, I'm in awe. So, okay. So then you go and you record yourself on video, you record yourself on audio, the artificial intelligence does what it does. And it's like, okay, now we've got Amber's vibe.
There's some
And
humans involved too. So it
okay.
takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get this custom avatar generated well. There are different versions of it that can do it a lot faster, but you can really tell that it's an avatar. This level of customization and blending of these things is unique to us, but people have to be a little more patient because we care about the quality.
Yeah, I'd be patient to have it because people like you and I, like people expect us because
Mhm.
we are the speaker, we are the author, we are the podcaster, we are the thing. And so if we're not like, we couldn't get away. I'm sure some people could, but I don't feel like we could get away with something that doesn't look like our likeness. It doesn't feel like us personality wise.
For me, if it's not there all the way, then I might as well have a cartoon stand in Avatar, which is what
Right.
most people think of when they think of avatars, right? Now,
Right.
I personally am not using this to stand in 100% for me in terms of I am not putting videos out there with it saying like this is 100% Jill. I
Right.
work my avatar into whatever script I
That's
use.
so
So
cool.
so for example, like if this if I had unlimited time, right, and wanted to do this for every single thing, I could have sent you an email, Amber, that was just my avatar saying, hi Amber, I'm excited to meet with you on insert date field, for the purpose of insert being on your podcast. I look forward to a great conversation. Well, actually not me, but Jill herself. I'm Jill's avatar. Really nice to meet you.
So
Like
cute.
something like that. But the thing is, you have a base script like that with whatever customization fields you have. Now, all you're doing is copying and pasting and changing those fields. Or if you have robust CRM systems or any other data management systems for your customer base, you can have those things merge and you copy and paste the script from there. So you just enter in those fields and you figure it out. And that type of personalization is not just hi merge name field, right? You're actually getting something and you're doing it in a very unexpected way that breaks the status quo. And when you're breaking the status quo, people's brains physiologically react differently to what you're saying. Not always positive, but differently.
So cool. So what are some of the applications? I mean, obviously I'm looking at it from like course creation, speaking, videos, all the things that I do, but what are some of the applications for other businesses that aren't, a speaker or
Yeah.
whatever?
I mean, let's talk about sales personalization, right? There's one of the biggest missed opportunities that I consult with companies on all the time, and it drives me nuts, is you just got an order from someone. You just ordered something online, $1,000 product, whatever. What do you get? An auto-generated generic receipt. You are missing a massive real estate opportunity right there to change the status quo, to shock, to awe, to personalize, to customize, to deliver something of value other than here's this receipt that I'm either going to file in my receipts folder if you're super organized, or delete, or just leave in your unopened inbox for umpteen years till you have 20,000 messages, depending on your email style. So we all know we fall under one of those. We all know. So so that being said, I will not ask you which one you are, but we all have our
Personal,
proclivities.
that's where Bed Bath and Beyond coupons go to die. I've got thousands in there. Business, I use Superhuman, so I stay on top of it.
Right. But it's we have that, but what a missed opportunity. So imagine now that it's the CEO of the company, it is the business development manager that has been selling the product, it's someone who this person has interacted with. Now you have personalization, customization, and it's never been. Now the challenge with this is we are not at the stage now where it's instantaneously generated because this is so new and we're in beta. We have human quality analysis on each and every video that is rendered, and people in beta understand that because they want it to be the best that it can be.
Sure.
So give us a year, that's an immediate application. Now you look at, for example, oh my gosh, there's just so many, my brain gets overloaded here, but think about different types of emails that you can send out where you have, let's say you have your A-list leads. You go to a trade show, you have your A-list leads. Let's say you get 100 cards. You have your A-list leads. You're going to treat them very differently, right? Any smart business person is going to. Then typically what happens after that, you have a mass email that you send out to the other 80 people that you're like, all right, let's see what hits. Well, instead now you pick a B group and you target those 20 some people in the B group with personalized messages and follow-up, with personalization, with agency of choice and customization for how they consume the media. And even if they don't click on the video, seeing that there was a video created for them also communicates, even if the video is not communicating. So it's
Yeah.
a strategic move there. And then you do one video for all of the C's and see if you can adjust them in your funnel, right? So you get more targeting, more customization, more personalization, and more strategy around the way that you're using it.
I mean, it's just absolutely fascinating. It's truly, it's kind of hurting my head because like it keeps wanting to go to the future where it's like, this is going to become the norm. Because if this is technology that is getting zhuzhed right now, then like some of the other things that we've had, it's, I mean, like there's like cloud app and I can't think of the ScreenFlow or like the ones that record in the cloud and you can do a quick video and send a link with your bomb or some, they're more email based or that sort of thing. And like those of us who are doing it, like we were cool. And then like everybody did it and then it wasn't cool anymore. And so like, this is really the opportunity to get on the front end of what is almost going to be an expectation in the future is what I'm thinking.
I am not in disagreement with you. I don't know, we don't know where it will go, right? That's the unpredictability of all of this. But what I do know, it's a new form of communication.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't replace video when there needs to be video. It puts video in a place that you wouldn't have otherwise put video because you didn't have time. And you couldn't customize, right? It now enables us, if we have training materials, whether it's for clients like you, Amber, or whether it's someone internal in HR, and you know that things change, now you modularize it into 1 or 2 minute sound bits and chunks so that when something changes, boom, you just replace that one segment of the training. So you're not replicating everything all the time or having to redo everything. You're just taking that one little piece out because you strategically develop it with the strategy and curriculum in mind for it to be in micro sizes. That saves infinite amounts of dollars in organizations for all the ways that needs to be communicated. Oh, hey, this one app, this one platform, this one manager wants all the team to enter their hours this way and the notations this way instead of the way that you're recommending at office. Can we make that change in our training? Well, yeah, it's going to take like 30 minutes now, same day delivery instead of, yeah, but we need to go shoot someone. We need to find someone to write, all of those things.
The lighting, blah, blah, blah. And like, let's be real, guys, they wake up, they take a shower, they brush their hair, they brush their teeth, they're ready. Women, we have more steps to be acceptable on video.
Yeah, luckily, I feel that COVID at least has lessened the stress of that now, because there was 3 years ago, I would not be doing this podcast with no makeup, a ponytail, and my glasses on. Like I did swipe some lip gloss. Don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, that's very
but you know what I mean? But like I wouldn't have done this a year pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Because I was so mentally, and I think a lot of us were like, oh, it's going to be video. It's out there forever. We've gotten to be a little more human in that sense. And at the same time, we do realize now that video is the norm. We see how quickly, because of necessity, Zoom was adopted into the cultural lexicon.
Right.
Even though it had been around for years and years and years and years and years.
That was beta.
Before that.
Beta Zoom.
Same.
Yeah.
So, like, it's been around for a long time. But most people now know it as a verb, as a noun. It's, as ubiquitous as Google is in that way. So those people who knew about it early adapted faster, were able to be more strategic. And yes, other people caught up. But I can promise you the difference in the impact that you make in that interim time before it becomes mainstream, because there will be copycats. There will be people, oh, well, we can make this and then we synthesize this voice and it's not your real voice. Or, oh, look, if you do it this way, it's faster and it's 60% as good as something. And for some people, if they're just using it as a token parlor trick, 60% is great. Right. You're going to be able to find a solution. But if you want to use it in meaningful and strategic ways, this is it. And my dissertation is testing different iterations of synthetic media. So we'll have real scientific proof in the next 18 months on where this best fits with tons of data to back it up.
That's so cool. So, okay, now I want to flip over to PhD land, because that's a really big part of your life right now.
Yeah.
And one day on my trajectory, that's, I have intentions for that. And I know that there's a lot of listeners who do aspire to have more education. And so I guess I'm going to ask some questions selfishly.
Please do it.
What it's a lot of work, Jill. I know I'm preaching to the choir. What is motivating you? Like, what was the big why that said, like, I am going to invest the time, the money, the energy? Because you have a booming business and you're now involved in a tech startup and you're doing your PhD.
For me, it's 100% ego, and anyone who tells you otherwise, I think is full of it. Listen, unless your goal is to get a professorial position, as your second career, and then you need, actually technically you don't, because I was a faculty member for a decade without a PhD, but you either need a real nuanced in or you need a doctorate to be able to have a faculty position. And if that's your goal, okay, there could be a job-based reason for it. Sure, can I justify that? I can charge higher fees with it. Yeah, I could charge higher fees. Now I could just say no when people ask me to discount them. That's a choice that I'm making, right? If we are honest, that's a choice. And now as women, we get negotiated down statistically a lot more often than our male counterparts do in all different industries. So for me, this is just one thing that's going to make my life easier at the end of the day. But if it wasn't an ego-driven decision, I'm 40. At this stage in the game, I have my shit together. I don't need this at all. And so if it wasn't ego driven, you're never going to put up with the BS you have to put up with to get this degree.
Well, and I guess for me, it would be ego too, because just as a small, like as a girl, I just have always wanted the highest level of education that is available to me. Like whatever the highest trophy is when it comes to learning, that's what I want. And I think it's just for me, like, it's really not for anybody else. And to your point, like, I don't think it's going to make me any more money. I just want it.
We had to do this video. So before the first class that we had an orientation week and then first class. And it's an intense program. I travel from North Carolina to Florida to Tampa once a month on my dime, of course, to go to school. And we have intensive weekends. And then between it's online. I picked a hybrid program like that intentionally because I wanted that network of people who are equally devoted to improving themselves.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's been a really key factor in my happiness lately too, is knowing this other network of people in diverse industries. Because sometimes we get siloed within what we're doing. And we had to make this video for all the other faculty and other alumni members and stuff to get to meet us. And one of the questions is, why are you getting your DBA? And I said, and I blatantly said, I'm like, ego, isn't everybody?
That's what I love you.
Like, I'm like, sure. Like, yeah, I look forward to researching X, Y, and Z, and I have a strategy for how I'm going to use it, but I could get by in life fine without it, not going to die if I don't have it, not going to not
study whatever you want to study. You could publish whatever you want to publish.
I have multiple books. I made good money on textbooks. I had a textbook in 2009. Like, I've checked the boxes, but this was ego. I want those letters because of the credibility it brings, because of the ease it'll allow me in certain situations of my life.
I like that. I think that's fair.
Okay. And then I get to research cool ass shit that I'm really excited about. And so it's a win-win. Like, is it going to benefit me? Of course it's going to benefit me. But let's be honest, I could take a training class in tarot card reading, and I'm not dissing this. This is just like a far-fetched example from synthetic media. I could go take a class in tarot card reading, and I would find a way to make that benefit me too.
Right, exactly.
When you're an entrepreneur, when you have a drive, even if you're not an entrepreneur, if you're someone who's driven, you care about learning, you care about advancing yourself, you're going to find a way to make whatever learning experiences that you're presented with in life meaningful to you.
That's right. Yeah. It's got have a little chutzpah.
I just want the letters.
Me too.
I could have researched this stuff. I just got so excited. I just took a drink of water and that did not turn out well. I could have researched this stuff on my own. I don't need a university to do that. Makes access to resources easier, but
no. And I think it validates your research as well. I think a PhD's research is looked at differently than
100%, even though it doesn't necessarily need to be, because I can tell you some of the people that have passed this program, I look at, I'm like, and not this program in particular, but people I know who have PhDs, I'm like, glad you're a credible source in this area. That's fantastic, you know?
But I think it's just um, when we want something out of life, if we have a passion around it, whatever drives that passion, then that's what helps us get through the shiz show that is going to happen en route to whatever it is that you want, because life's not easy. And if you really, really want something, then you're going to stand up to all of the things that are hindrances to getting to that end game. And I know you're a strong woman, you're a bad mamma jamma, but I can imagine this has not been the easiest trek for you.
I mean, it's awesome being told that what you're doing sucks by researchers, right? It really blows after like running your own game for a number of years, and the paychecks that you're getting and deposits from clients are like feeding your ego and telling you like, yeah, you're validated. And then you submit this paper and it's like, fail.
Yeah.
I had to submit 3 times before my qualifying exam got accepted. And
Wow.
that did not do my ego well. I actually was struggling with it. And this just was the other, like a week and a half ago, that I finally passed all the qualifying exam stuff, because you know what? It wasn't academic enough, or it was too broad, or it was too big, or it was all these different things. And then what's great about it is now it gets to go to a whole other committee of people who can tell me, actually, this is complete crap. We need to do it another way. And if my ego wasn't in it for the bigger picture, I would never put up with any of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause you're like, let me just go back to where people love me and I make a lot of money and I'm always right.
Yeah. Well, and I can spend the equivalent of my tuition over these
Right.
3 years to get someone else to do the research for me. So I'm not even working at it, and then to just claim it on my business.
Yeah.
Like I can commission some research. I'm not dissing people who do that. It's actually a pretty smart strategy. But again, if your ego wants something like a doctorate, you go and do that stuff yourself instead of paying someone to do it.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. All right. So before we wrap up and I tell people all the different ways they can get in touch with you and check out all that you have going on, I always like to ask the parting question, which is, what lasting or parting advice do you have for a bombshell, a bold, brave, unwaveringly confident woman in business?
Unyielding belief in what you bring to the table is essential.
Mm.
And that belief will help you weather whatever is thrown your way. It's ugly. There's crying, there's hitting things, or, you know, whatever your emotional outlet is. Sometimes bourbon, whatever it may be. At the end of the day, when you're sitting eating ramen on the floor of your overpriced studio in New York City, having just sold your road bike, which has been your favorite hobby for multiple years, to be able to pay rent, it is that belief in self at the end of the day and what you bring, and knowing that it can impact somebody's situation for the better, that is going to get you through it.
I love that. I love that. And I believe it myself. And I think that's a great way to wrap up the official interview part. So thank you for those wise words. Now, if you want more wise words from Jill, or to learn about all the exciting things that she does, or to do business with her, she is the dynamic communicator, which you can find at the dynamiccommunicator.com. On Instagram, she's dynamic Jill. Same on LinkedIn. You know how I feel about this. I say it every time. Connect on LinkedIn first. That's where we do business. Facebook's Dynamic Jill, Twitter's Dynamic Jill. And then how do we find out about Render Media?
Excellent. Rendermedia.ai is the website. You can go there, learn some information. If you want to see like the evolution of the avatars and the research I've done on the stuff, you can go to the dynamiccommunicator.com, and there's an AI video avatars link. But rendermedia.ai is if you may be interested in seeing, hey, maybe this avatar could be right for me. You can get on our wait list. Again, we're in beta right now, so it's not everyone getting in. And we do mobile shoots maybe once a month. That's all we're onboarding right now to make sure we can do what we need to do to get the technology amazing. But yeah, get on the wait list. It's not some bombarding thing, because email marketing like hardcore is not my style at all. But you will get education on synthetic media. And for me, it's, if you are in business, you need to be abreast of what is coming down the pike at a mass consumer level. and the savvy people will understand it and know it, even if they don't do it themselves before that gets there, so that you can speak about it in an educated way when it does come up.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it. Jill, thank you, A, for being my friend, and B, for bringing your genius to the Bombshell Business Podcast. I don't know. Thank you is enough for sharing your time with what limited time you have these days.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. And thank you everyone for listening.
Absolutely. All right, Bombshell, you know what to do. If you haven't left a rating and review, please do so that more eyeballs can get on this podcast and whatever listening app that you listen to. If you're watching on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, share it with your friends. And I think this is really something that you need to bring to your team, whether that's the team that you lead or the team that you're a part of, and have a conversation about this personalization, whether you take it all the way to this avatar or just different ways that you can connect in this way, because the world is shifting quickly and we have to keep up. And this is one really key way. Communication is the bedrock of like all the things. So, save this episode, listen to it again, connect with Jill, and then I will see you on the next episode.